Saxon Algebra 1, Lesson 12. As I promised you in Lesson 11, we're going to talk some more about order of operations. And we're just the problems are just going to get a little trickier, a little more complicated, but we're carrying on. Here are even my notes. I just started on the same page because I had some room left. Remember that this is our order: parentheses, exponents and roots, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. That's the order that mathematicians have agreed to use as we lay out our problems. So let's just see what John has done to make this harder for us. Last time I talked about how if you see parentheses, it may or may not mean these parentheses. It may just mean multiplication or even addition or subtraction. So you have to look at, when you see parentheses, you have to look at them and figure out what they mean and then decide what operation they're actually suggesting. So this time I see parentheses, so my attention goes there first. And what I see is that, okay, there's work to do inside of these parentheses. All right, I'm supposed to add 3 plus 2. I'm supposed to subtract over here. Once we get that done, then I see that the parentheses are also going to mean multiplication, right? Because when we put a number right up against a parenthesis like that, it means to multiply. So first we'll go through and we'll do the work inside the parentheses. Then on our next step, since we don't have any of those, we'll do the actual multiplications. All right, so let's do the work. This is 4 times 3 plus 2 is 5. Notice I just keep the numbers and the symbols going straight down because, again, it helps me keep from forgetting and making silly mistakes. 6 minus 3 is 3. Cool. That was doing the work in the parentheses. No exponents or roots. We can skip that. Now we see here's multiplying and here's multiplying. This time we just did this work. Now we're ready to multiply, and then we'll subtract at the end. 4 times 5 is 20. This is 15, and so our final answer is 5. Cool, right? A little more complicated, but not the end of the world. Let's make it harder. .2. And I'll tell you there are 5 lessons, or five lessons, 5 example problems in this lesson. Okay, all on this topic. Here we go. Copy with me. I had to smush a little bit on that one. Try to write big enough so you can see, but small enough so I can fit it on the line. I'm going to recopy my rules. Okay. We're not really doing anything with roots and exponents now, but I write them down because the more times I write this in the right order, the better I'll memorize it. Okay, so we start by looking at our parentheses. What do they mean? Well, we see here's multiplication. So we'll do that with our multiplying. But I also see there's work we can do inside of these. So that'll be our step 1, is doing the work inside the parentheses. So minus 3 times, and then let's do this. I'm going to add the positives together. 7 minus 3 is 4. Minus 6, and that'll be multiplication. 4 plus 2 is 6. And then minus 3. Okay, so we did the work in the parentheses. Skip that one. Now we're here, multiplication. Now we remember, oh yeah, this means multiplication too. So this becomes minus 12. Look, minus 12 minus 3. Huh. Oh, wait. Look what I did. See, I need you guys. 6 times 6 is not 12. 6 plus 6 is 12. Make sense? Got it. Okay, so then this is, let's see, 12 and 6 is 48, plus 3 more is 51, because they're all negative, so they're all going in the same direction. So that's negative 51. All right. Yay. 12.3. Oh my gosh, it's getting longer, you guys. This is when you say, I'm hungry. I think I need a sandwich. Which is fine, by the way. Eating while you work, I'm totally fine with. Taking a break to eat and then coming back to your work is also fine. But, second, let me wait till I'm done doing this. Checking to make sure. Okay. About the sandwiches. If you want to take a break and go have a snack, do it. I used to be all about like having a dish of candy or something on your desk while you're working. I'm not anti that now, but honestly, if you want your brain to function at maximum efficiency, probably not the sugar. You know, have something that is going to make your brain go into overdrive in all the right ways, not the wrong ways. So get a sandwich and cut it up into maybe 6 or 8 little pieces, or get a bunch of baby carrots and some hummus, or something that you can give yourself little rewards with as you get each problem done. Sometimes that is a really fun way to break up the monotony of this. But again, if you'd rather just go take a break and eat a T-bone steak, I'm not against that either. All right, we've got a lot going on in this problem. We've got parentheses. Okay, just a second, let me do this. I don't want that 3 to get confused with our problem. We've got multiplication indicated by these parentheses, but we've also got work to do inside the parentheses. So we'll do the work inside first, and look at all of that. Okay, so minus 2, that stays the same. And what I'm going to do is just copy those parentheses down. Minus 6, minus 6. And this becomes, let's see, minus 3 minus 2, that's minus 5, plus 3 times 4 minus 2 is 2. Okay, step 1, parentheses. We did the work in all the parentheses. Don't have to worry about that. So now I go on to multiplication. Now we recognize that, oh yeah, these are all being multiplied together. So 6 times 6 is 36, not 12. 6 times 6 is 36, times 2 is 72. And let's check out the minus signs. 1, 2, 3, 2 of them make a positive. There's 1 left over. Minus a minus 5, that means plus 5, and then plus 6. So this makes plus 11, and this makes minus 72. I'll write my answer this way because I have more room. That would be minus 61. That's right. Okay, ready to get a little crazier? Copy with me. Okay, you got that. You ready? We're going to do it as a fraction. What I'm doing is I'm leaving myself some room to work because this is just the numerator. So I'm going to leave that. I left some space to simplify. Now I'm going to write the denominator. It's like 2 problems for the price of 1. All right. So we're going to work each line separately. Oh, excuse me. And then when we get them down, sorry, I'm going to teach through my yawns. Once we get them down to a single number up top and a single number on the bottom, then we'll reconvene them in fraction format and look and see what we can do to simplify from there. So first step is parentheses. We look and do any work in the parentheses. It's 5 times, let's see, that would be -2. I'm on the ladder in the meadow. Plus 7 times +4 plus 2. That becomes negative 10 plus 28 plus 2. Those two go together to make positive 30. And so over here, I see my answer is 20, right? 30 and negative 10. Okay, so I boiled this whole thing down to a single number in the numerator. Now I do the same thing downstairs. 4 minus 2 is 2, plus 3 plus 5. I'll just combine that right away. That's 8. Okay, and that's a positive number, so there's nothing weird there. So over here, I can say it's 20 over 10, and then I can reduce that to just 2. Okay, so if there's a numerator and denominator, simplify them both separately, reconvene them as a fraction, and then simplify if you can. One more. And it's another fraction. I mean, let's be honest, you guys, it's just twice as much work. It's cruel. Oh, sorry, I was making it harder than it was. And again, when it's a fraction, I like to give myself room to work before I write the denominator, so I don't have to keep rewriting things. That's just annoying. Double checking to make sure it's right. Okay, so once again, we'll start with the numerator. It really doesn't matter. You could start on the denominator if you wanted. But let's go up here. We do the work in the parentheses first. Minus 3, that would be times 2. And I'll just leave the, you know what? I'm going to make the parentheses go away here as part of that step. We're not actually doing the operation, but if it's minus 5, I can write that as plus 5. That's just cleaning up the parentheses. Now I multiply. Minus 6 plus 5. That means that my numerator equals negative 1. Now we'll do this one. There's no work to do in the parentheses on these. These parentheses only mean multiplication. So let's jump ahead to that. We don't have any work for parentheses. So it's going to be 4 minus 9, and that becomes 4 plus 9, and that is 13. So our final answer is negative 1 over 13. It could be written like this, or what we usually do is we float that negative sign rather, we usually float it in the middle rather than have it associated with the numerator, okay? So either one of these is acceptable presentations. I like this one a little bit better, just rewriting it so that minus sign's in the middle, but I wouldn't mark off for that one. All right, lesson 12, order of operations. It's getting a little longer, and we're gonna add to this as we go ahead to lesson 13 and just make it, you know, a little more confusing. So enjoy this, and I will see you next time for lesson 13.